Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we just did the whole Bhagavatam Bites reading, and Nitai, Das, me, yes, yours truly, completely forgot to turn on the microphone. So we had a great session, lots of reflections, but guess what? No sound. So here we are again. We're going to go through the same verses, and there's nothing like having to do it again when you've already done it once. Of course, repetition of good things wanted, but at the same time means we had already done it, and time is limited. So this session will probably be a little shorter, and we're just going to go through the verses and put some stuff in there. Let's see.
Canto 4, Chapter 14, Text 11.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 11. We appointed this Vena king of the state in order to give protection to the citizens, but now he has become the enemy of the state.
Citizens.
Despite all these discrepancies, we should at once try to pacify him. By doing so, we may not be touched by the sinful results caused by him. Purport. The saintly sages elected King Vena to become king, but he proved to be mischievous. Therefore, the sages were very much afraid of incurring sinful reaction. The law of karma prohibits a person even to associate with a mischievous individual. By electing Vena to the throne, the saintly sages certainly associated with him. Ultimately, King Vena became so mischievous that the saintly sages actually became afraid of becoming contaminated by his activities. Thus, before taking any action against him, the sages tried to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief. Anyway, so one point that stood out before, but I didn't mention it before, so I can mention it now, is it's like the sages are kind of motivated, because even in the verse, not just the pulpit, but the verse, it says they don't want to be touched by the sinful reactions because they put him there, which is interesting because it's reminds me of Prabhupada explains collective karma. So some people maybe I don't eat meat, it's cool, yeah, but do you buy it for some family member or friend? Do you cook it? Do you facilitate it somehow? There's so many different ways you can be affected like that. So in the same way they're accepting, well, we put him there, but it doesn't seem so holistic, like so. It's definitely motivate. Hold on a minute, this one's a bit of a rascal, and we're gonna go down with him, as it were. So yeah, reading it again, I got another, which is interesting, isn't it? We may have done the reading before.
Oh yeah.
But Bhagavatam, we don't eat onions, but anyway, it's like peeling back layers of onions. There's so many layers to the Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's quite fascinating actually, what you see as you progress, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
As you progress, how you could go deeper into it. So yeah, that's interesting. I just see it like that there, a bit like, oh dear.
And I remember now one thing I was saying was that this mischievous and mischievous, I don't know if there are two different words. If you know that, you can put it in the thing. It's mischievous and mischievous. Are they just different ways of pronouncing the same word? Or one of them isn't actually even a correct pronunciation, maybe?
No, it's American.
It's American. But we're in America now, so. But this word mischievous is being used by Srila Prabhupada here, and I looked it up last time. And it's actually naughty, but naughty in a kind of jovial or playful way. Childlike, yeah. And so, I would think Vena is, maybe anything but mischievous in a naughty but playful way. It sounds like he's more demoniac or something like that. So that's also something there. And One point that really stands out to me is the last sentence. Thus, before taking action against him, the sages tried to pacify and correct him so that he might turn from his mischief. So I think this is really important, because Vena wasn't just like doing some little mischievous things, although that word is used again and again, but he was actually like on the level of demoniac. And still the sages were approaching to correct and deal with him in a very sattvic, mode of goodness way. First, let us try for rectification before anything else. So it's an important, I think, important concept for us to understand when dealing with people, that we have to first try our best for rectification and like that. And we'll see how they do this. Okay, text 12. The saintly sages continued thinking. Of course, we were completely aware of his mischievous nature, yet we nevertheless enthroned Vena. If we cannot persuade King Vena to accept our advice, he will be condemned by the public, and we will join them. Thus, by our prowess, we shall burn him to ashes. Okay, so if Vena doesn't listen to us and our attempts to try to rectify him, then the public is going to condemn him, and we will join them, the public, in condemning him, and they're going to burn him to ashes. So that's pretty. Talk about being made an offer you can't refuse. So, hey Vena, work with us on this, make some adjustments in your life, or we're basically going to burn you to ashes. Okay. Purport. Saintly persons are not interested in political matters, yet they are always thinking of the welfare of the people in general. Boom, good point. Consequently, they sometimes have to come down to the political field and take steps to correct the misguided government or royalty. However, in Kali Yuga, saintly persons are not as powerful as they previously were. They used to be able to burn any sinful man to ashes by virtue of their spiritual prowess. Now saintly persons have no such power to influence no such power due to the influence of the age of Kali. Indeed, the Brahmanas do not even have the power to perform sacrifices in which animals are put into a fire to attain a new life. Under these circumstances, instead of actively taking part in politics, saintly persons should engage in chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya, by simply chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the general populace can derive all benefits without political implications. So, important point at the end, chant Hare Krishna, and don't worry about all the politics. But other side is that saintly persons are concerned about the general populace, and if required, they will come to the platform of looking after the government and getting involved in political matters like that. And previously, saintly persons were very powerful. They could burn people to ashes with the glance kind of thing. But they could also give life to an animal that's offered into the sacrificial fire. So like that.
Okay. Text 13. The great sages, having thus decided, approached King Vena. Concealing their real anger, they pacified him with sweet words and then spoke as follows. Text 14. The great sages said, Dear King, we have come to give you good advice. Kindly hear us with great attention. By doing so, your duration of life and your opulent strength and reputation will increase. Purport. According to Vedic civilization, in a monarchy, the king is advised by saintly persons and sages. By taking their advice, he can become the greatest executive power, and everyone in his kingdom will be happy, peaceful, and prosperous. The great kings were very responsible in taking the instructions given by great saintly personalities. The kings used to accept the instructions given by great sages like Parashara, Vyasadeva, Narada, Devala, and Asita. In other words, they would first accept the authority of saintly persons and then execute their monarchical power. Unfortunately, in the present age of Kali, the head of government does not follow the instructions given by the saintly persons. Therefore, neither the citizens nor the men of government are very happy. Their duration of life is shortened, and almost everyone is wretched and bereft of bodily strength and spiritual power. If citizens want to be happy and prosperous in this democratic age, they should not elect rascals and fools who have no respect for saintly persons. Yeah, but it says if citizens want to be happy and prosperous, they shouldn't accept rascals and fools. But unfortunately, most of the people are rascals and fools. I'm in the population. That's a controversial thing to say, but... And so you can't pick that which you don't know. You know? And that's why the politicians, when it comes to picking like election time and that, what do they go for? In any country, let's be honest, it's immigration. It's those damn immigrants that are taking your jobs and they're coming across the water, across the border.
You mean, what are the topics that they attack? Sort of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
or
what's
address.
the other thing they attack?
Money. Finance.
The taxes and how we're going to... All of a sudden, all these plans come into place of how they're going to improve your life, basically. And then they try to go for popular culture, you know, personalities, political or otherwise, that they feel the masses are against or whatever, so then let's bring them down. If I get in, I'll do this. And then the majority will vote for that. But that's how they get in, you know? So, yeah, if you don't know any better, then I guess you go with one said the lesser of two evils, so to speak. But it's a shame, you know, like we were saying, that there's money's involved, and obviously there's some dirty politics and things going on behind the scenes, and you know, for sure dirt is being dug up, as it were. So some people even stop before they've started, because it's like someone lets you know, look, remember you did this, or if you didn't do it, but remember your family member got arrested for this, or this one's like that. We're going to put it in the media, so maybe you need to back off, you know? It's true. It's not like all in the movies. This stuff goes on, and it's exactly as Prabhupada is saying in this purport. It's just demoniac. It's just unsaintly. It's just not for the people, really, actually, at all.
Powerful. You should be a politician.
Oh yeah, vote for me.
Text 15. Those who live according to religious principles and who follow them by words, mind, body, and intelligence are elevated to the heavenly kingdom, which is devoid of all miseries. Being thus rid of the material influence, they achieve unlimited happiness in life. Purport. The saintly sages herein instruct that the king or head of government should set an example by living a religious life. As stated in the Gita, religion means worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not simply make a show of religious life, but should perform devotional service perfectly with words, mind, body, and good intelligence. By doing so, not only will the king or government head rid himself of the contamination of the material modes of nature, but the general public will also. And they will all become gradually elevated to the kingdom of God and go back home, back to Godhead. The instructions given herein serve as a summary of how the head of government should execute his ruling power and thus attain happiness not only for his life, but also, not only in this life, but also in the life after death. So that's quite a powerful statement. That if a leader takes seriously to the process of devotional service, trying to lead his community, his or her community or state or country then that person will get free from karmic reactions, and inadvertently those who follow him will also get free from karmic reactions. So this is like a karmic purification if everyone is following properly. Of course, it depends on everyone following properly. And then Prabhupada uses the famous word gradually. So then gradually everyone will be elevated back home, back to Godhead. So one will achieve spiritual emancipation or spiritual success simply by being a leader who adheres to devotional service, mind, body, words, and intelligence, or someone who tries to follow a leader who's doing that. Powerful and important points. But, as Prabhupada says in one letter, where are such leaders? And I was saying this before, that, especially being here in America, you think such a vast pool of possibilities of candidates to run the country. There must be some amazing people in this country, just like in the UK and Europe and Russia, Africa, wherever. There are probably some really amazing persons who just, let's give them a shot to run the country. Let's bring in a new perspective, a new angle of vision. But no, it's got just the same 2 or 3 people keep getting put up there on the pedestal, and usually they're already well-to-do, rich, and while they're in office, somehow or other they manage to make millions. Even though their salary is only $200,000, they actually come away from it earning multiple millions of dollars or pounds. But, what if someone isn't rich, but is really intelligent, sharp, a thinker, a people person, a natural leader? What about those persons getting an opportunity? Or is it just someone who owns several buildings in and around Central Park? Or is it just, someone who owns multiple oil wells? Or is it just someone who is born into an aristocratic family?
Or born into the Kennedy family, so for some
we didn't need to say a name, but that's aristocratic. Hello. We're trying not to say names, otherwise we can blur them all out.
Yeah, we're not.
And even in the UK, most all the political people are coming from some affluent families. So it's not that just, of course, affluence is a sign of good karma, for sure. I mean, it can also be a sign of bad karma. But, because someone might have done something irreligious to get there, to win that wealth. But anyway.
Anywho. We're
We're
going to leave it here now.
going to leave you here now.
Thank you, everybody.
We hope this recorded. We're looking at the monitor. Yeah, it looks like it's
all right.
Thank you very much. Please remember to like,
comment,
subscribe,
and share.
Yay!
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.